Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Kalyani, and today we learn about web data scraping with Excel activities. So, guys, in today's video session, we have the agenda like we'll open a URL by using the open browser activity and we log in into this URL. Once the login will be successfully done, we'll do the data scraping. Then the data will be stored into the variable and then we'll write those data into the one Excel file, and then we require only few data. So we'll do the filter data table activity and we'll get the required data table. So guys, let's start today's video session. So I already open here the studio. Click on the process and you can give any name. I'll give web, once minute, web automation, and just click on the create. So this is our UiPath Studio. Now if you just go here activities panel and just take one flow chart. So now here our first agenda is like we have to open the URL. So we have to do that, and just I'm taking one sequence. You can set at the start node. Now I'll give the name like login. Now here you need to open this sequence, and first thing you have to use the open browser activity. So once you will find it, now you have to provide here the URL. Whatever we have to open, you just provide here. So once this URL we require to open, so I'm copying this URL. So putting here the URL here. So what I'll do is I'll create one variable by using this variable panel, and you can give the name as a URL, and you can put the default value of that URL, this one, login, right? Now what I'll do is I'll provide the just this variable here. This is always best practice to provide the variable instead of providing the hardcore value. Then what I'll do is I'll just use the maximize activity, maximize window, and I'll keep here. Now what I'll do is I'll close this window and I'll check whether my URL is working or not. So I'll save it and I'll run this flow. So yeah, it's open. So if you check in the properties panel here, browser type, these browser types available, but UiPath by default taking the IE Explorer. So if you want to open the URL by using the Chrome, you can choose here. It will open by using this Chrome, right? Now I'll keep as it is. Now once it open, so the next thing we have to do, we just have to put the email ID and the password here. So for this, I'll use type into activity. Type into is one of the input method, and you just indicate on screen this one. Once you do that, you can rename this activity or you can keep as it is, but it's always best practice to give the name of activity, right? So now, so what I'll do is I'll create one variable email, right? So in this default value, I'll provide my mail ID. Once this is done, you can provide here this variable control space and the email. Right. So in if you check the properties panel, few things we have to do, like empty field we have to check this one, then simulate time you need to check, and rest of thing you need to keep as it is, no need to do any changes. So once this done, you have to again use the type into activity to for this field. But now here is a password. Password is what we can say, it's a secure thing. So what we'll do is here I'll use the get password activity. Get password. So if I'll use this activity, my password will keep secure and not visible to anyone. So here in properties panel, I'll provide my password. So this password is encrypted, right? And you can uh, store this password in one variable. You just need to create one variable. I'm creating the variable like password. Okay. So now this password is stored in this variable. So again, I'm using here the type into activity. So just search type into, right? So once this done, just indicate on screen and this password, right? And you have to provide here the password, this password variable. Done. Now the same thing you have to do here, empty field. So once you check on the empty field, it will erase the previous data, right? This field will be blank then. So this is very important to check the empty field, and simulate type is should be true, right? Once you do that, you just click on the login. So for doing that, I'm using the click activity, and you can put here, you just click on here, indicate on screen this button. Once this done, now you can put a message box that login is successfully done. Message box. So guys, if you want to, in case of failure to open the URL, you can use here try catch block to capture the exception. Open, right? So in this way, we'll get the message that URL is open successfully. Okay. Now I'll save this one. I'm closing this one. What we'll do, we'll just log in this one. I'll run this file. We'll see what will happen. So URL is open. Done. So our URL is open successfully. Welcome. This is my email ID, and now I'll take another sequence. So next thing what we have to do, we have to just scrap the data, right? So do that. I'll join this node, and you can open this one. Now here you have to click on this work item, right? Once you do that, you are able to see the the thing which want to be scrapped. It will be open. So I'll use again the click activity here to do that. So click and you need to indicate on the screen this work item. Once this will done, now I'll give the name work item. Right. Now the next thing what we have to do, I'll take one more sequence for the data scrapping. Right. So I'll give here name like data scrapping. Okay. So here once you click on this window will open, and now here I'm using the data scrapping activity. extract the structured data. It will extract only structured data from a browser, application, or a document. So you just need to click on this and select the value. You need to click on the next. I'm selecting this value, and this is asking that you selected a table cell. Would you like to extract the whole data? So yes. Once you do that, you are able to see here. So maximum number is 100, but no, we want all data. So I'm putting here the 0 for all. So it will extract all data, right? So I'll click on the finish. So once you do that, what I have to do, you have to go to the next page, because all data is available into the page up to the 10 page. So I go to the every time next page. So what I'll do is I'll click on the press S to indicate it. I'll click on the S and I'll click this S, this one. So now the data scraping is done, and if you check here, the data table is already created, extra data table. You can change the name or you can keep as it is. It's your choice. So right now I will keep as it is. So now data scraping is done. So here what we have to do, we just, we want all this data into the Excel file. So I'm using here the right range activity. And but the thing is we don't have Excel file. Here I have to create Excel file and then I have to store all the data. So do that, what I'll do is I'll use the right range activity, but I'll use from the workbook, not from the Excel application. Here in Excel there is a right range also available, and in the workbook it's also available, but I'm taking it from here, right range activity. So now it asking the workbook path. So no worries, you just give the name like scrapped data file dot xlsx. Okay, so by default it will take the folder project path, and I'm passing the data table here created, the extra data table. I'll pass this one, control space, and you can pass this data. The data is now will store into this data file. This file will be created, and the data will be stored from this data table to this file. Okay, so here in the properties panel, I'll click on the add headers. Okay, so done. Data scraping and the information will be stored. Now we will test it whether it's working or not. So first I need to log out. I'm closing this one. I'll close, and now we'll check whether it's working or not. Save this one and run the file. So it's opening the URL. It's login. URL is open. Clicking on the work items, and it starts scraping the data. So it take few seconds to scrap all data. So done, data scraping is done. Now at the back end, our data will be stored into the Excel file. It take few seconds because we are using here the workbook activity. So if you go to the output panel, you are able to see the project is run successfully. And now we'll go to the project folder here, and if you check scrap data file, this data file was earlier not present. Here we just created it, and we see if the data is stored or not. So yeah, perfect, it's stored. The whole data is stored into the Excel file from the web page. So now what is our condition? I want only the data type of WI5. Okay, so if I'll filter this one, and if I'll check the WI5, So this much data is available, right? And I'll count the data is total 12. This much data is available, right? So here I have to filter this one. So what I'll do is I'll use the filter data table activity. So go to again here, and now I'm using, you need to go activities panel, check the filter data table activity. So I'm using this one. Once you do that, you just go into the filter wizard, and here we have to provide the input data table, which was the extract data table, right? And here I have to create a new filter, new, which was the filter. I mean, create a new data table. So I use Control K, filter data. Okay. Now, so this is our output data table. So here, what I want keep the column. If I'll open the Excel file, 1 second, we'll open this Excel file, go to the project folder and open this file. So I'll take this one, column name, type. So keep column type should be this one, type, and the operation is equal to, and value should be like only wi5, this this value I need. So I'll put into the double quotes wi5, right? So yeah, done. And now again I want to store this data into the another Excel file. So again I'll use the right range activity. You need to take from the workbook, and now here I'm creating the another Excel file. We'll give the name as filtered data file dot xlsx. Okay, so this file will create it, and the data table is control space output, right? This data table we created here, right? And you need to click on the add headers. So done. So what we'll do, I'm just closing this Excel file, saving this one, or go to the project folder. You can delete this one, and now we'll check how it's work. This I'll do the logout. I'm closing this one. So yeah, we'll check how it's work. Run the file. So this opening URL login. So login successfully done. Press on the work items and it will start the scrapping data. So now data scrapping has been done. It might take few seconds to complete the task. And now if I'll still bot is running. Yeah, done. web automation executed ended. So it's done. So what I'll do, I'll go to the project folder, and here you are able to see it's two file is created, scrap data file and the filter data file. If I'll open this file, it contain the data, all data, right? And if I'll open the filter data file, so yeah, perfect. It exactly filter the data which we want, WI5, and it's successfully done. If I'll apply the filter and you check this one, so 12 count, and if you go into this filter data table file, it also the 12 count is 12. So perfect, it exactly filter the data. Okay, so guys, it's as simple as using this data table activity. You can try this, and if you have any doubt about the data scraping and Excel automation, you can ask in the comment section. So guys, if you like this video, you can like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.